In our next story, we find out about the CNIB's Executive Director for Ontario East, Duane Morgan.
Duane is new to the position that is based in Ottawa, but he is no stranger to the CNIB.
In his childhood, Duane was diagnosed with a rod cone dystrophy condition that is indigenous to his home province of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Duane's earliest memories of the CNIB were going to socials with his grandmother. His affiliation with the organization continued to grow as he did, through schooling and life skills.
AMI's Dave Brown spent some time with Duane at the CNIB Ottawa's Tech Fair to find out how early exposure to services and socials morphed into a successful career.
CNIB has always been a part of my life. I don't actually remember a time when CNIB wasn't a part of my life.
After utilizing CNIB services like orientation and mobility training and independent living skills, Duane connected with the CNIB in a different way.
My first employment opportunity with CNIB came while I was in university, and it was in the year 2000, I would think. And I was hired on just kind of as a summer student, and I did whatever needed to be done. And as I started to engage with the clients and other people with vision loss and the volunteers, I started to realize that I felt like I had something to give back. You know, like my experience that I have, I could use those to put them to good use in working with the clients that we serve. So it just seemed like a natural fit.
Through dedicated work, Duane found himself in leadership roles in Atlantic Canada.
Hey, Duane.
Oh, hey, Len. Good to see you.
How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, how you been?
I'm doing all right.
Let's take a seat.
For sure.
Len Baker is currently the Regional Vice President for CNIB in Ontario and Quebec. He was instrumental in bringing Duane into leadership roles in Newfoundland. He explains what it is about Duane that makes him a great addition to any team.
Duane has always had what I think is a stellar type of an attitude. He's very empathetic. I think he's really good at helping understand some of the barriers that his team or even our program participants may be having to help them overcome those challenges. He likes to problem solve, and I always saw that in Duane, even when it was he himself who was, you know, trying to solve his own issues that he was having with, say, learning orientation and mobility or learning how to type. He was very persistent. And I think he deploys that type of personal attribute in his dealings with his team.
After many successes in Newfoundland, Duane considered a big move to become the Executive Director in Eastern Ontario. He took over that position in late 2016. He outlines his goals for the region.
I want people to feel like they're part of the development of CNIB moving forward and part of the planning. And I want CNIB to be relevant to people through all stages of their vision loss. You know, it's more than just learning how to get out there and walk safely. There's a lot of emotional and social implications to being a person with sight loss. So we want to address those. I really want people to have, you know, the opportunity to fully participate in life, whatever that looks like. You know, what do people need to really get out there and take on their community or take on society in whatever they want? And people are different. We have introverts, extroverts, like all of that exists. I mean, you know, people with sight loss are the same as everyone else. They have all different personalities. And what do people need to get involved?
Being that Duane was a CNIB client before he became a leader in the organization, I was curious if being low vision affects his perspective on how services are delivered.
I think it just gives you that unique perspective. You know, and I'm not one to say that you have to have vision loss to work with CNIB and be successful, because we have quite a number of staff that are passionate and give back in so many ways. But it just gives you an insight into what people are going through, and it actually helps the conversation. It actually puts people at ease when they start talking to you. I think me being a person with vision loss really makes the conversation a little more open to people. People feel comfortable coming forward with their stories.
Len reiterates that it's Duane's drive that sets him apart.
For me, it was never about Duane's disability. It wasn't because he was blind or partially sighted that he became a leader for the CNIB Foundation in Eastern Ontario. It was because he had a real passion and a drive for what we did.
Even with all his success in Atlantic Canada and the footprint that he's making in Eastern Ontario, Duane remains very humble.
I don't consider myself any hero in this field or anything like that, but every day I try to do whatever I can to make a difference.
Awesome.
Thanks. All right, we'll see you in the morning.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
We cover a lot of stories about the CNIB services and events on ATW, so it's great to get to know some of the leadership team. These are people who are impacting the lives of our audience every day.
Definitely. And I love stories like this where someone's personal experience helps them to improve the lives of others.
Dave tells me that Duane and Len met in Newfoundland back when Len was Duane's itinerant teacher in high school. That's a relationship that has formed a long time ago and has stayed very strong.
Also very awesome. I love stories like that too. Mentors can have such a strong impact.